Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about 1977 written by Jonathan Lethem. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. Now, this essay kind of has an unusual title. It's just, it's numbers, but they play an important role within this essay. This essay is very interesting. Jonathan Lethem pretty much is talking about his obsession with Star Wars. He watches Star Wars 21 times, and he also watches Space Odyssey 21 times within this work. Now, you might say, is he just obsessed? Is that why he's watching these movies so much? Yes, he's obsessed. He loves Star Wars. It's an interesting part of his childhood, but at the same time, the reason why he ends up watching Star Wars so many times is because he was dealing with his mother's death. His mother didn't quite die yet at the beginning of this essay, but his mother had cancer and she was getting close to death. And the family was really struggling with the death, and they didn't know what to do. Also, his mother and father were getting divorced. So, as a kid, at the beginning of this essay, he's going through a lot. He's going through his parents' divorce. He's going through his mother dying. He's going through, his family reaction to that, the way that his grandmother is reacting, the way that his father is reacting, the way that his siblings are reacting. It's a lot to go through. And so he pretty much escapes. He escapes by going to the movies. He gives us a very detailed description of what the movie theater looks like, of what it smells like, of what he experiences when he's there. He tells us about his travels to the movie theaters and how he likes to go alone in solitude, because most people, when they're going to the movie theaters, they can't go alone. Most people don't like to go to the movie theaters alone. But the way that Jonathan Lethem explains it, it seems like a fun thing to do. If you're not okay with being alone, I can understand that. But for Jonathan Lethem, from his perspective, he's saying that when you go to the movie theaters alone, you can watch the movie in different angles. You can go to the bathroom and just go to a different seat. Because when you go with people, you kind of have to go back to that same seat because you don't want to abandon the people that you went with. And you can sit wherever you want. When you go to the movie theaters with a group of people, someone always loses because sometimes some people like the middle section, some people like right in front at the big screen, some people like the back, some people like the sides. There's a lot of choices when it comes to movie theaters. Some people even reserve seats when they go to the movies. It's a big choice. It's a big choice, and when you're going with people, it's a hard decision to make where you sit, what you eat. Is the person going to talk a lot, the person that you go with? So Jonathan Lethem, he's going through this horrible time in his family, but he's finding a way to escape, a way for him to go into solitude, a way for him to deal with the stress and the sadness and the depression of losing a mother, and dealing with a divorce. And he just watches Star Wars over and over again. He goes on a date by taking a girl to see Star Wars with him. He becomes friends with her by the end. The relationship doesn't work out. He takes his sick mother to see Star Wars. And what's kind of messed up is that his mother leaves him at the movie theater because he wanted to keep watching Star Wars, and he allows his sick mother to go back home by herself. That one was kind of like, it wasn't a bad thing the way it's written. It's like a bad thing, but still, you let your sick mother go back home by herself after going to the movies with her. That was kind of like, it was a little bit messy, a little bit messed up. He takes his siblings, he takes his friends. And he grows up, he gets an Ivy League education, he ends up watching Space Odyssey 21 times too. So he watched Star Wars 21 times and he watched Space Odyssey 21 times. He was trying to figure out which one was his favorite movie, but he never did. He just watched them both 21 times. He doesn't ever watch any other movie as much as those two. So he's a big movie buff. And he uses movies to deal with life, especially the death of his mother and his parents' divorce. So there's a lot here. There's a lot to dig in. We all use escape. We all try to escape our problems, no matter who you are. Sometimes it's too much to deal with your problems head on. Sometimes you're just going to turn your head and find something to distract you. Find a movie, find a show, find something to take your mind off your problems. You know, that old saying, out of sight, out of mind. You know, when you're in that movie theater for like the 2 hours, you're not thinking about stress. You're not thinking about your problems. You're not thinking about what you have to go through. You're just focused on that movie. And so Jonathan Lethem kind of uses the movies for that in this essay. It's a very fascinating essay. In terms of analysis, in terms of a deeper meaning here, I mean, it's a core problem that we all deal with. It's family problems. I mean, around the world, everybody has, you know, most kids have dealt with their parents divorcing. A lot of people have dealt with a parent dying. I mean, we all pretty much have to go through it. You know, sometimes you lose your parent when you're much older, and sometimes you lose your parents when you're much younger. But everybody loses their parents, and everybody loses their son or daughter. I mean, it's part of the human experience. It's, you know, it's what we go through as human beings. We're going to lose people. The older you get, the more people you lose, the more people you gain, the more people you lose. That's just the human experience. That's the human, that's what we go through as human beings. We're going to lose people, and it hurts. And sometimes we have to find that escape, that movie, sports. That's why, I mean, a lot of these things, they really do become very important. Sports, movies, comedy, games, because they let us they let us to escape a little bit and de-stress. And find something to give us joy rather going through depression and the sadness that sometimes life brings. But very fascinating essay. You know, title, I mean, okay, so let's talk about the title of what it might mean. I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like 13 is when, you know, his problems started, because I mean, it's 13, 1977, and 21. I'm guessing 13 is when his problems started. The 21 is, of course, the 21 times he watched the movies, the Space Odyssey and Star Wars in 1977. I'm thinking this is when, like, the year all of this was going down, or all of this started. So maybe that year is significant. So I think it's age, date, and how many times he watches the movies. That's just my assumption. That's just my guess. But very well put together. Interesting essay, and, you know, it's something that we could all relate to. That's all I have to say about this essay. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video.